All right, everybody, away we go. Welcome to today's call. It is Friday, June 7th of 2019. I'm on the road in a nice hotel room in Chicago, so I will not be stopped from doing this call no matter where I am because it's my favorite and probably the most important when it comes to conversion. We've had a lot of fabulous calls recently here talking about some distinctions that most of us hadn't made. And I want to bring it back a little bit to where we left off. And that is, we left off at that point where after the initial scripting, where you get into, hey, here's who I am, here's where I'm from, I know this about you, and so I've got this thing for you. That's really that real seriously scripted piece of it, so that you have that first 5 to 7 seconds to get out of your mouth who you are and why you're interrupting this person. Right? Very important moment. However, a lot of you are doing that successfully already, and you're finding yourselves in the spot where it's almost like a dead end. You don't know what to do next to set up the future, because the most highly likely outcome is that somebody doesn't know you at the other end of the phone, and they're not going to just invite you into their home that easily, or they're not just going to allow you to be the person that helps them look for their next home. You have to earn that. And so this whole concept of inside sales really begins at that moment in time where you've made your intro, you've offered something, or you've just told them that they're using your software, and it's an introduction moment. But you're really setting yourself up for this longer term opportunity. And again, long term means a lot of different things depending on what market you're in. If you're in a hot market, long term could be 60 to 90 days. For me, I've gotten used to having to deal with and make a distinction. Is somebody serious inside the next 12 months, which I think should become a standard for sales as we go along, meaning you want to bring all of your leads that you're paying for to a conclusion one way or the other. But the first distinction on where there's possibility to monetize and help somebody is really inside that first 12 months. Can you determine that there is going to be a possibility to follow up inside that 12-month framework, and you're going to be able to take over what's happening there? Really important to understand that that's where the money is made. So longer term follow-up, not that one-off moment where you try to be perfect on the script. And as you can see, most of you that have been trained to skim the cream off the top only, you're getting yourself lost, and you're losing that opportunity over the 90-day and under, 6-month and under especially. You're missing those, because what do you say? And Sarah did a great job last week of bringing up the fact that, hey, wait a minute, like I'm calling this lady back who's sort of putting me off because she's doing these fix-up things. And we left off with, well, that's precisely what you're offering, guidance through the sales process. And what guidance starts with is, look, there's going to be a general price range within which your house could sell. None of us qualifies to be Houdini, pull the rabbit out of the hat with exactly the right price. So we're all going to be able to give you a bracketed price range based on the current solds. So, for example, the marketers in us and on our teams and in our groups need to be cognizant of what kind of a contact we're giving somebody. So we left off with home evaluation. Well, what are you offering? Somebody just said, yes, I'll take that thing. And now you have somebody up, what, just trying to get in the house for the sake of getting in the house when you didn't even fulfill on the promise of an evaluation over the net, over the phone, whatever it is that you're doing. Well, that's a disconnect. And that makes it much harder to set up an intelligent conversation that leads to longer term opportunity. So I just wanted to recap that because I thought that was excellent. And the team in Ottawa, between Dave, Pat, and Sarah, did a great job, at least at revealing it. Now, we could pick up a little bit there, but what I'd also like to do is get into a little bit of outside sales today. I think it's important that bridging that gap between that inside sales moment on the buy side especially is trying to get in there, or the reconditioning especially of the house. You got to get into that first meeting so that you can block out the competition. The minute you go kinesthetically, physically with somebody somewhere, a relationship goes one step deeper, presuming you like each other and there's a further opportunity. But what you're doing is effectively blocking out other people. Too many of you are finding that, oh my gosh, I had a good conversation with somebody, and then the next time I went back, somebody else had already sold them something. Somebody else had already gotten in there and listed the house. Well, how is that happening? Why can you be there first and then not be next? Because you're not thinking about what the logical next step is, to offer them services that might be able to get you physically in front of each other. Okay. So there's a recap of what happened last week, because it was a really important evolution of months worth of work. And I want to really pick up there. Okay. All right. So let me go interactive. Make sure you *6 you mic when I open these up here. All right. Everybody here? We good? Check, check. Okay. Awesome. Hi, gang. So my team in Ottawa, between Sarah, Dave, Pat, anybody that's on, any thoughts after this went by for a week? Sarah, you there? And Dave in particular, are you guys there? Okay, Sarah, go ahead. Thoughts about after you slept on it, after you tried stuff, and then Dave, you go next. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome, super. And give me some anecdotes in particular. Anything in particular that you came up with? Like, in other words, can you give me a story? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. And what did he say? So what was the result? Were you able to get in there? Yeah. Okay, good. Now, have you had, yeah, sure. Have you had conversations about this at all? I mean, did you chat it up a little bit with the team, Sarah, Corey in particular, or the boys at all? Did they have any thoughts on this? Yeah. Hmm. Right. Yeah. 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 Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Sure. Good. Yeah. Well, and talk about it. You've done a great job at being a quick student of adjustments, because we already know your skill set is excellent at getting the appointment. Why do you like this to the extent that, I know you're a numbers driven gal. I know that you're going to want to really, stay in touch with exactly what's happening, how you're actually doing, volume wise too. I know you don't want to give up any of your success. Is this a dangerous slippery slope for somebody like you? Does it make you too relaxed? Does it make you not push for an appointment where there might be one? So let's talk to the counterpoint to this a little bit. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah. And did you? I think I asked you this. Yeah, I think I asked you this before, but I'd like to hit it again if you don't mind. And that is, I know you were in this business for how long prior to making the move over to Metro City? Okay, so that was a long time. All right, good. That's what I was hoping you would say. That was a long time. Tell me. Well. Here's why I say that. Things change. The way the consumer consumes changes, and I think that really matters a lot. So did you see that it was getting in Canada, especially because I think you guys were trailing the states in that change because Canada was still protecting the the information. We weren't giving it away in Canada like we are in the states. So I think to that extent, did you see it getting more difficult or not? Were you still able to book appointments at a regular clip, in particular with buyer leads, which I know you were doing a lot of? Were you able to do that the same as always? Hmm. Hmm.